The thing that everybody has been making since the start of quarantine. You know, the Corona quarantine. And as some places are going back into quarantine, I'm looking at you, friends. I figured I might just share one of my favorite bread recipes in this first episode of Maybe Baking, which is pretty much the same thing as maybe pancakes, but we're baking things instead of making pancakes. Smart, right? I got that big brain sometimes. Anyways, you might be wondering what this is. This is my bread machine, my dough maker. And the first thing we're gonna do is set this up. So I have a couple different things here. God damn it. I have my dough hook, I have my dough roller, my dough knife, shut up, and scraper thing. But we're gonna be using the dough hook and the dough knife. This is a Anchors from something original, something's not a sponsor, although if you want to give me money and I will say good things about your bread machine, I would love to. So put your stuff together, the dough knife, the dough hook, and then you gotta put that in like that. And then we have the whole thing ready to start using. And this recipe, like always, is going to be in the description down below. Also, I'm on Twitter. Yeah, become a will today. And we'll start making the bread. So the first part of making this bread is the yeast. So I'm gonna be using fresh yeast. You could use like active dry yeast. I don't know how it works. I realized fresh yeast, 25 grams of fresh yeast. Into that yeast, we're going to add 0.5 liters of water, 5 deciliters of water. Or however much that is in whatever measurement system you're using, but like, and with the water and the yeast in your thing, you can just turn it on and start running it until the yeast has dissolved. All right, I had to move the camera a little bit. Anyways, when the yeast has dissolved, you want to add some sugar. I'm using 30 grams of just normal, regular white sugar. That's because yeast likes sugar to be able to fart out gases and make bubbles, I guess, to make the bread rise, basically. And like 10 grams of salt. Salt because salt is good. I like it. Also, you don't need it, but you should use it. And we're actually also going to add olive oil. So add like a tablespoon or two, a couple tablespoons of olive oil, and then the flour. And also on this machine, you might need to move this arm a couple times, just kind of splash it around a little bit. So let this work. When you can see the dough start coming together, you can increase the speed a little bit to like medium speed. And then, sorry, wrong way. And then turn on this and let it go for like 12 minutes or so, or until the dough has completely come together and worked itself into a nice little dough ball. This is actually a little machine. But I'm not gonna say anything nice about it until they give me money. So ignore what I just said. No, actually beep what I just said. I'm not gonna say anything nice about this until they pay me, even though I like it. What we have done now is that we have created our bread dough. So when the dough isn't sticky anymore, I mean, you can see it barely sticks to my fingers and it's a little bit springy, then we know that the dough is done. So we are going to cover this up like this. I'm gonna put this in my oven with everything turned off, just because the oven is a good place to let your dough proof or rise. Put this in the oven, let it rise for about 40 minutes, and I will see you when we get back. Okay, it's been like 45 minutes, and we wanna check on our dough. Yup, that's a lot of dough. check that out. This is a lot of dough. The dough has puffed wonderfully. So we're gonna take this out onto this tabletop and we're gonna deflate it and we're gonna remake it into a ball and then put it into my cast iron Dutch oven. Sounds good? Let's do it. So you might need a little extra flour for this because you don't want the dough to get all sticky onto your on your counter. So I'm just gonna put like some flour like this and then kind of help the dough come out of this. And you can see how much it deflated just by poking it a couple times. So we're gonna turn this over and get the, I guess this is kind of like a bench scraper, I don't know. Now it's a bowl scraper. Take the dough out and then you just want to kind of fold it back a little bit and shape it into a ball. So just, if you need the dough, just press it out, fold it back over, turn around, fold it, press it, fold it back, press it, and then just keep doing that a little bit until you get some stiffness back into the dough. I like this method of letting the dough rise twice. I'm not sure why, but this is like the way that I usually make it myself. I have tried just letting it rise once, and I don't remember if the result was any different, but it feels like there should be a difference, right? I don't know, somebody probably knows more about baking than I do, but this is the way I make my bread and I really, really like this bread recipe. But I'm feeling kind of good with this. So now we're just gonna take and put it on, it's hard talking and doing things at the same time, I realize. I think that's a guy thing. Anyways, what you wanna do now is just take the dough, put it out, take your hands, pull them back, spin the dough a little bit, and do it again until the dough ball gets, I think the word is taut. When it does that, it's basically done. The pot that we're gonna use is a normal cast iron pot that's lined with some ceramic. And for this, we're gonna put some olive oil in there. And this is just so the dough or the bread doesn't stick to the walls or the bottom of the pan, because that's just gonna stuck. So just pour some oil in there. I'm gonna use my fingers. I usually use my fingers and just rub the sides and the bottom with the oil so everything gets a little bit oily. Put this seam side, the sticky seam side, put this facing down, and just give it a little rub around in the bottom of the pan like this. And now we have, the bread is pretty much ready to cook. So we're gonna let this rise one more time, and the time that this gets to rise is about the same time as our oven takes to get up to 200 degrees Celsius, or for your Americans, that's 200 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit. So, our bread has floofed once again. Wait, no, not bread, our dough. Our dough has floofed once again. So what we're gonna do is take a really sharp little knife and cut one line, and we kind of had to, and the other side again. Like that, so we have a little cross, or like it's gonna be like a little star on top when it's done. And since I'm really bad at keeping time on whatever I put in the oven, and especially since everybody's oven is different, I have mine on just over 200 degrees because that's what I've learned is the best temperature for this bread. And I'm also gonna put my little temperature probe thing into the bread, and like so, and then put the lid on it. And now we're gonna take this and put it in the oven until my little thermometer goes meh, which is 205 degrees Fahrenheit. That's how hot you want your bread to be when it's done. 96 or 200 and whatever the fuck degrees temperature. Ooh, the bread is done. Ah, it's hot, it's hot. Ooh, look at that. It's not, well, yeah, it's really hot. But look at that. That's our bread. So just flip it upside down. Yes! So, ow. So now this has to rest. Never cut into a, well, I mean, if you make bread like rolls, like this big, you can obviously cut them open right away. But with something this big, if you cut it open right away, it's gonna sag, it's gonna get harder quicker, it's just not gonna be good. We're gonna let this rest under a clean kitchen towel until it has reached like room temperature, maybe slightly warmer, but like when it's warm, not hot, because right now it's still hot. And now the bread is cooled down, kinda. So we can safely cut it open. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, that looks great. I mean, look how squishy this is. And it really just stays together. Can you see why this is one of my favorite bread recipes? We gotta try it too. But yeah, the bread, super pillowy, super soft. Tastes great. I would just have this with some butter on top. Well, if you like this video, please hit like, subscribe, become a Will today. And if you want me to do more baking videos, please write a comment. And I will see you in the next video. I have to go wash my car. You have a great day. Okay, goodbye, Will.